Okay, so don't freak out fellow Wind Waker fans, but we may be getting The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on the Nintendo Switch for the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary. I have been waiting for this for so long, so I hope it's true. I mean, Phantom Hourglass is pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but Wind Waker is too fantastic not to put on the Nintendo Switch, and making it portable would be the best way to play it on the Nintendo Switch. You might not see me for a while. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo-Chan Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in 2020 and beyond. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below this video and that notification bell so you know when I upload. And if you're interested, I have a Patreon, which link to that will be in the pinned comment along with my Twitter account. In this video, we're going to talk about some new Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary findings, as well as some specific dates for a Zelda 35th anniversary direct, or a Link's anniversary direct, I guess you would call it. In any case, we will also be bringing up some other findings that are linked to the Super Mario 35th anniversary for those who have not been keeping up on the Zelda 35th findings. So I think Nintendo doing anniversary for games used to be a much smaller event, and the Nintendo fans' expectations on what Nintendo would do for Zelda, Mario, Metroid, and other Nintendo franchises was much lower. I don't think we really thought of it as some big event that Nintendo could reveal some huge games that bring back older Nintendo games. Usually we would maybe get some kind of special edition controller, or maybe a console, and the odd anniversary collection here and there, maybe. Which those are great, don't get me wrong. But I think when the rumors of the Super Mario 35th anniversary came out, or I guess now it would be considered a leak because it came true, it really changed our mind on what Nintendo could do for anniversaries for their franchises. And I think at the same time, Nintendo's thinking changed as well, according to these new findings, which we will talk to right after we get to one of the most important findings. So back when Nintendo was doing the Super Mario 35th anniversary and it was still a rumor or a leak, or however you want to say it, Nazarus07, a Twitter user on Twitter, found this. And this is what his tweet says. Out of nowhere, The Legend of Zelda just registered a new trademark this July, and it covers a lot of classes. This is 99% for next year's Zelda's 35th anniversary. Mario got a trademark just like this one last year, most likely for Mario's 2020 anniversary. The green one is Zelda, and the red one is Mario. Now this happened on August 11th of 2020. Fast forward to yesterday, and some very exciting things happened that point to two Zelda games. The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker and The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Now you may be thinking Phantom Hourglass released on the DS, how would Nintendo even go about making that work on the Nintendo Switch? And don't worry, I'm thinking the same thing as well. Now this finding was found by Kelios in his tweet, and for those who don't keep up on Nintendo Switch leaks and Nintendo Switch rumors, Kelios is a pretty big name. He's responsible for leaking Nintendo Direct dates and weighing in on a lot of Nintendo Switch rumors and Nintendo Switch leaks. He does have a lot of credit to his name. The first one he tweeted out was for Phantom Hourglass, and this is what the tweet says. A few days ago, Phantom Hourglass trademarks accepted in Australia. So here is a better look at the trademark. Now, Phantom Hourglass released on the original Nintendo DS, and if I recall, did have touch control. So I really don't know how Nintendo would go about getting Phantom Hourglass working on the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you guys have any ideas on that, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. Now, this could be for some kind of sequel to Phantom Hourglass. That could be another option that Nintendo could go for, or even a remake in the same way that we had a remake of the other Zelda game, which the name is slipping my mind right now, but I'll put a picture of it on the screen right now so you guys know which one I'm talking about. Don't I actually own that game? Actually, I do own that game. Hold on. So I do own this game. It's The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That's what the name was that I couldn't figure out. If you're wondering, that is a GameCube that really needs to be dusted off. Don't blame me, I got this from a friend, and this is how it came.
You're thinking that I'm lying about the GameCube. Mine's in great condition, straight out of storage. Didn't even touch it. And you're blaming me for that dirty contraption of yours.
Okay, but anyways, if you look further down under class 9, it says downloading electronic game programs. This could mean that it could be not for a sequel or even part of a collection, but maybe just a downloadable game on the eShop. But all of this is of course speculation on what this could mean. It could very well mean nothing. But the timing is a little weird since the anniversary is coming up this month. Now of course later he also tweeted out one for Wind Waker as well, which I find very exciting because that means we can play Wind Waker on the Nintendo Switch possibly. This would be fantastic because I always thought that The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker would be perfect in portable mode, especially on the Nintendo Switch. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what about the dates for the Legend of Zelda Direct or whenever they're gonna drop these things? Well, an interesting tweet was retweeted by Kelios himself, and this is what the tweet says. February 12th, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. February 18th, Nintendo Direct celebrating Zelda's 35th anniversary, which is the 21st. Zelda Collection for Switch in March, Breath of the Wild 2 for Holiday 2021 alongside the Switch Pro, which he follows up with 2 more tweets, and this is what it says. Don't think Switch Pro is talked about, just a new tease for Breath of the Wild 2 with Holiday 2021. Switch Pro revealed later this year. Later this year makes me think that it would probably be during E3 time maybe, but I guess we'll find out eventually. Now the rest of his tweet says this. It will be one of those things where we know the Switch Pro will be released alongside Breath of the Wild 2, but Nintendo refuses to mention it. Which, yeah, it does make a lot of sense that the Switch Pro would be released alongside Breath of the Wild 2, seeing as it was the same with the original Nintendo Switch. And that, of course, made people buy into this new console at the start. Now, the fact that Kelios retweeted this means that he could have heard some kind of information on these dates, or maybe he just agrees with the tweets. I'm sure we'll find out pretty quick, seeing as the 18th is in just 8 days. But now that you got all the news and rumors for today, you probably want more Zelda 35th anniversary videos that could tell you what we might be getting with the Wind Waker and the Zelda games. Are these gonna be remasters or are they gonna be emulation? I have the video just for you. Just click the top right corner of the screen and you can learn more about the Zelda 35th anniversary and the Super Mario 35th anniversary and how it's connected and how it could bring more older games to the Nintendo Switch. Maybe possibly for another anniversary? If not, let's continue on with the last part of our video, the question of the day or questions of the day, a part of the video where I take your questions and answer them. To get some of your questions answered, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below and I'll pick out some of them for the next question of the day. So the first question of the day is from Clinton. Do you ever think there will be a Final Fantasy VII Remake port or any of the Kingdom Hearts? Also, since the Resident Evil 7 engine is being used to make Monster Hunter, what are the possibilities of Resident Evil 7 coming to the Nintendo Switch? So let's start with the first part of the question. Do I think there will be a Final Fantasy VII Remake port or any of the Kingdom Hearts games? This is kind of a hard one for me because I'm a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts and I love the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Part of me wants to say that these won't come to the Nintendo Switch though, but don't get your hopes up yet because if you look back at other Square Enix games on the Nintendo Switch like Final Fantasy World for instance, and other amazing games like Octopath Travelers, the support for the Switch is there from Square Enix. I mean, we even have one Kingdom Hearts game on the Nintendo Switch already. With the Switch Pro coming, the possible extra power could be more appealing to Square Enix and bring, say, Final Fantasy VII Remake over to the Switch. So I think there is a possibility, but I think it's a low chance. But man, would that be great to have these games on the Nintendo Switch. As for Resident Evil 7, I don't think we will ever get that on the Nintendo Switch as a full game that you don't have to stream because we already have that streamable version of Resident Evil 7. I don't really see Square Enix going an extra mile to push that on the Switch. I could be wrong though. Next up we have Leo's Line Animation Leora, and he asked this. What do you think about Pokemon Snap? So Pokemon Snap is a game that I am very excited for. I played it back on the Nintendo 64 and have been waiting for one. I thought for sure that we would get it on the Wii U since they have, you know, the perfect gamepad for it, but we didn't end up getting it. So when that first trailer came out and I saw how good it looks, I was super surprised. Then the second trailer came out and I was even more excited than the first one. One worry I had for the new Pokemon Snap game was that it was gonna look like Sword and Shield, but it doesn't, and I'm super excited for that. I still have a lot of questions for the game, like character customization or card customization. Is the score system changing? What kind of secrets are hidden? Are there any callbacks to the Nintendo 64 Pokemon Snap? How many maps are there? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And moving on to the last question of the day. And the last one has to do with today's topic actually, and it was asked by Teal Hayes. What are your thoughts on all the games in the 35th anniversary? Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess. So I think you guys already know by now that I am very excited for this possible Zelda 35th anniversary, because remember, we don't know if it's real or not yet, but along the road there are some signs that are pointing to it being real. I do think that Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess would be a good collection, but then again there are a lot of other Zelda games that could fit in replace of Skyward Sword. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, even Phantom Hourglass could fit in there, though it would be an odd choice. Which ones will be there, only time will tell. Which, speaking of time, it's time to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to be kept up on other Nintendo news and of course any other possible anniversaries, subscribe to RoboRob Gaming. You can find my Twitter at RoboRob93 if you want to follow me there, and if you want to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the pinned comment as well. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.